Centipede is a game that I'm not sure I understand. Its Atari 2600 port sold almost 2 million copies, and it was the third highest grossing arcade game of 1982. But I just don't get it. As I played it, I kept thinking, this game is not that interesting. I must be missing something. This has happened to me with other arcade games in the past. Defender didn't really click until I realized that I could reverse the direction of the ship. I thought, there must be a button I'm missing. Maybe something that completely changes the way the game is played. Unfortunately, no such button exists. Centipede only has a button to shoot and a trackball to move the player character. I sat staring at the control scheme, scratching my head in disbelief. Okay, maybe I'm missing a hidden game mechanic. So I looked up some gameplay of a high score run to see if there was something else. I saw no new mechanic, just the same old way I'm playing. Maybe with more precision, but fundamentally the same game. I'll be honest, I still don't understand Centipede. I don't think it's necessarily a poorly made game, but to me it sort of just doesn't do anything interesting. It feels worse to play than Defender, less engaging than Donkey Kong, and without seeing this game on the list, I would have just thought it was just one of the many arcade games that came out in the early 80s and faded into obscurity. I don't think there's any real lasting impact of this game. I've never heard of it or seen the game before starting this list. It doesn't introduce any mechanics that I still see in games today. There's not a lot of pop culture nostalgia for it. Though apparently it wasn't Pixels, that dumb arcade games come to life movie, but I've never watched it and probably never will. I've never heard of a dev saying that they were inspired to make games by playing Centipede when they were younger. If you are someone who has more insight into why this game sold so well but has very little legacy, please leave a comment down below. So what is it like to play today? The gameplay is simple. You control a small insect-like creature called the Bug Blaster that flies around at the bottom of the screen. There is then a segmented centipede that travels from the top of the screen to the bottom to try to eat you. Each time you hit the centipede, it splits into multiple sections and spawns a mushroom. Anytime the centipede hits a mushroom or the edge of the screen, it moves down a horizontal line. There are also other bugs that add mushrooms or bounce around trying to hit you. My thesis is as follows. Centipede simply lacks sauce. To me, sauce comes down to two things, style and skill expression. Donkey Kong is a game that has a ton of sauce. High level play is a game of risk and reward. You must be daring and fearless to rack up points. Then there's the presentation, an everyday underdog taking on a massive ape. It's dynamic, character driven, and inherently cool. Centipede has no swagger. Mechanically, the game doesn't encourage flair. High level Centipede play isn't about taking stylish risks or making split second choices. Eventually, it boils down to one optimal playstyle: manipulate the mushrooms, trap the centipede into a funnel, and mow it down as fast as possible. The presentation isn't much better. You're a nameless blob shooting at bugs on a grid. The enemy of the centipede barely even reads as a centipede. Overall, I don't really have much more to say. Unfortunately, this game is just uninteresting to me. The gameplay doesn't do anything new or special. I think that the centipede splitting could have been interesting if executed better, but it doesn't really work for me. I do not think this game deserves to be considered among the best games of all time. Most of the best games of all time lists it appears on are from the 80s and 90s, so maybe it's just a product of its time. Thanks for watching. Next time on WikiQuest, I'll be playing Galaga. Bye bye.